Hey folks, greetings. Welcome to another edition of Faulkner Fixes All. I make the mistakes so you don't have to. And here is my free bike. It's just what I thought. A cheap mountain bike. That's way too small for me. And yeah, it's got blown front shocks. The chain is rusty. The derailleur only fits this bike without modifying it. It kind of fits in this little notch. I think you can take this bolt out and put it in another holder. That might work. Front tire's flat. Tires are super cheap. I might use them anyway. Plastic pedals. Womp womp. Everything's pretty much just a super cheap mountain bike. Yeah, that's how free bikes go. Anyway, it was free. It's free. That's plastic pedals. The frame is way too small for me, but here's the plan. And it's an aggressive plan. It's ambitious. So what we're going to try to do, I just measured the space on this back hub to the space that's required in this 1981 Huffy Good Vibrations with chain guard and fenders, in terrible condition, but it does have a hole for the back brake. I'm sure this thing is just tacked on barely. We might hit that with a MIG welder and just kind of make sure it's on there. It's not really set up right to be a back brake, but it is there. But if it was for a back brake, I think it would be on top of the tube because the tire goes this way. Anyway, there is a hole for the back brake. And we do have fenders. And they're in about the same shape as the rest of the bike. And there is the chain guard. And the front fork could be drilled maybe in between this quadrant for a front brake. Maybe. I'm not quite sure on that. The finish is terrible. What's left of it. My friend Scott dropped this off. He runs a tree service. Thank you, Scott. Looking out for me, neat projects. Content for the channel. This is definitely... This in itself would be an ambitious project. But what we're going to do, it won't really matter. And we're either going to sand this all off a little, scuff it up, spray it, and make an art bike out of it, or leave it and crystal clear coat it just the way it is and make it a low geared 7-speed. Now that is ambitious because this hub needs at least 5.5 spacing. And I'm pretty sure I can monkey around with that side of it, which is not really going to kick the tire over totally how we want it, because I don't think I can mess with this side. We might be able to take this slide off cassette, it slides off on a spline, and put it in a lathe and cut 1 or 2 gears off of it, making it a 5, and using this derailleur with a different hanger. And obviously we're not using these front cranks. It's just going to be something like, maybe something like this in the front. If this is skinny enough, which it's not, I'll have to find something. So it's an ambitious plan. A low geared 7-speed 1980s Huffy's Good Vibrations cruiser. Womp womp. It's better than riding that. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's unpack some of this stuff, because I had it stored oh so well up in the attic. And we'll just take this stuff off real quick and see what we have. I haven't forgot about the other projects. I'm waiting for some tires on this sports tour and some other parts. The World Traveler is just about done. I'm waiting on new tires for that, but that's a runner. And we tested that out the other day. I really like that gearing. I'm going to keep it the way it is. But for now, we're going to jump on this because, that's what we do. Somebody really took the time to store this right. the packing tape. Oh, whoa, hey, oh. Oh yeah, oh man, they got the packing tape on the immaculate finish on that chain guard. Oh man, I hope it doesn't take anything off. Okay, good. Okay, we'll put that to the side. You can just barely make out good vibrations on there. Just barely. Oh, there's the Huffy. Yeah, you can kind of see Huffy, good vibrations. Yeah, I used to have a couple of these. I remember distinctly them having really bad cranks. Like I did a wheelie and showing off, and I broke the peg on the crank. Let's see if I can show you. Well, I don't even have any of those cranks, but with the Huffies, it wasn't forged. It was just, this piece was just welded on. And I remember doing this like wheelie and the peg breaking off. But we won't be putting Huffy cranks back on this. I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, yeah, Huffies aren't known for their durability. A friend of mine used to come to my bike shop in Berkeley. He'd say, yeah, Huffy, tighten it up and go. Yeah. And that was about it. Okay, so we got some fenders here. They're not too bad. Guess that's the front. I was going hog wild on the tape that day. What's going on with? Okay, that's ready. Let's put this over here. And this little gem is the back fender, and it has definitely seen some better days. The more I look at this, the more I think I should just clear coat it as a rusty piece of junk that it is. This is bent here, and we can fix that real quick. I'm leaning towards the quick spray of clear coat. Oh wow, the bike, we got the frame on the wrong way. The hits just keep coming today. Maybe I should just bring this to the scrapyard. Well, it is a Huffy, and I believe this is still made in the USA for 81. I could be wrong. Probably made in Tennessee or Murray, Ohio. Could be made by the Murray, Ohio. Can't remember what the history on the Huffy good vibration is. Okay, now we got that kind of okay. All right, let's bolt the back fender on and just kind of get a bird's eye look at what's going on. Let's just put one bolt in there. Definitely a rusty piece of junk. But that's how we like it. So what we're attempting to do is turn a rusty, worthless 1981 Huffy Good Vibrations with the parts from another near worthless bike into something doubly as worthless. A Huffy mountain bike. A 81 Huffy Good Vibrations mountain bike. I'm sure I'm the only person to ever do this, and there's a reason why. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be rough, folks. Yeah, this is gonna take a lot of finagling. I really think we can do it though. It's 5 across here. And that's 5.5 on that hub. I guess the very first thing to do before we think about aesthetics and clear coating and sanding things off and taping off huffy emblems, and I think the very first thing is to part out the wheels off of this junker, throw it in the scrap pile out back, and look at this hub very carefully. I think the front hub's going to clamp on. Let's look at that real quick. We'll measure it. Yeah, that might be a no-go. What do we got here? About 4.5. About 4. That's a little under 4. Yeah, it's going to be a tight fit, although that looks a little bent there. Yeah, I think the front wheel will go on. I think the first thing to do is to take the wheels off of this junker and just play around with this and see if they even go on. This does have the rear brake hole, although we're going to have to probably MIG weld a bead there and on the other side and use a spacer here. It's definitely going to be funky. I don't have a seat post. I'm sure I can find one. I don't think it came with cranks, obviously. We don't want to use the hubby cranks anyway. It does have a built-in kickstand. That's kind of cool. I guess the Schwinn patent ran out. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, this is part 1 of agony, and we'll get back to you. I'll take the wheels off of this, and in the next segment, we may have shortened this back wheel to fit in. We may have taken a spacer off of here, and I don't know. We're going to see. And if this doesn't work out, I do have a coaster brake back wheel for this. So we could just build this up anyway, which is probably, I mean, this is a lot of work to make a 7-speed. But if it works, I'll do it, if it's not too much work. Okay, questioning my life's decisions, carrying on. Hope everyone's having a good day. All right, see you later. Okay, that's something new to me. This freewheel looks like it would slide on like one of those, like that one right there. But no, they made it look fancy. It's not. Wow, that is a new one on me. It's so cheap. I thought this lock ring, it says lock here. I thought it was one of those slide-on ones. It's not. The small Shimano freewheel tool fits in there. And we took it off, which is actually a really good turn of events, because that was going to be difficult to deal with. And as it is now, we can mess with this spacing any kind of way we want, and we can put a 5-speed freewheel on here. So that's actually good for us. Wow, they did a lot of machining to make that look like, it slid on. Man, that is crazy. Anyway, this one's toast anyway. I was spinning it. It does not feel good. And you know, 7 speeds is probably too much on that frame. We're going to go for 5. And this was loose, of course, and full of sand. So we're going to mess with this spacing like I was talking about. And if we get this spacing right with a 5-speed freewheel on there, we're going to go with that. Okay, so that's the update. Let's continue to mess with the spacing and question life's choices. Right, okay. Stay tuned. It's going to be really fun, I promise. Okay, that's about all the time I got for this tonight. With much ado, we converted this to solid axle with the correct spacing. We may not be able to get this 6th gear. I'm not sure. It's pretty tight. We might have to run a 5-speed instead of a 6. It's okay. This little piece probably has to be ground, or we'll take another, I don't know, there's some of them over here somewhere. Yeah, we'll look at my derailleurs. You might have to undo this and put it in a normal piece that's not so designed for that crappy frame. Or we might grind the back of this to make it flat. I think we're probably just going to find another holder, another hanger. They call it a hanger. And it goes on there, and this bolt should thread in. They didn't change these threads too often to different sizes, but we'll make this work. We may not even use this derailleur. I'm not sure, but we could. Anyway, with much ado, I got to get another one of these because this is the right thread, but it's kind of wrong. It's now solid axle, repacked bearings. It's just about in the center. I can deal with that. The front wheel did fit on with quick release. Definitely needs a truing. That's not the tire. Oh, that is the tire, isn't it? Yeah. The front wheel's okay, it's the tire. I may change that to solid axle also. I'm not sure about that. So it looks like components from that piece of junk are going to work on this. I don't think I'm going to use that shifter off of there because it's part of the brake handle. I'll save some of this stuff. I might save the bars and fork and seat and the rest is, and the V-brake parts, water bottle holder. But the rest is, you know, just not quite my style. Forks are blown, frame's way too small, and I don't care. Write a letter to Jamis Bike Corporation. Tell them that they suck. No, don't tell them that. Tell them they're great. For supplying me the parts I need. So yeah, I think it's going to be a low-geared 6 or a low-geared 5. It's looking pretty good. This is about all I can do tonight. That was quite the ordeal to change that over. Hey, get out there and work on your stuff. It's fun. You'll feel better about the world. And you need to feel better about the world. Don't worry, we'll get on that soon. Little side action here, a little side diversion. Yeah. Have a good day and, you know, keep on cruising.